In an ancient city, shrouded in the mysteries of the past and the whispers of sages, there lived an old man famed for his serenity and wisdom. He was known as someone who could find harmony in the most challenging situations, and many sought his counsel. A young man, full of hopes and dreams yet troubled by a persistent question, arrived in the city. He sought an answer to a question that had troubled many before him: what is happiness, and where can it be found? Having heard of the sage, he decided to seek his answer. The old man greeted the young one with warmth and understanding, inviting him to sit on a bench in his garden, where flowers bloomed and trees rustled with leaves, creating a sense of inner peace and tranquility. Happiness, the old man began, can be compared to the leaves on the trees, which come and go with every gust of wind. Many people think that happiness comes to us by chance, like a joyful event or a pleasant surprise, and just as unexpectedly disappears, leaving behind only memories. The young man listened intently, watching the leaves that seemed so fragile and impermanent. But if we look more closely at the tree, the sage continued, we see that its strength is not in the leaves, but in the roots that go deep into the earth. The roots provide the tree with everything it needs, regardless of the conditions around it. Similarly, the happiness understood by the Stoics does not depend on external circumstances. It comes from the inner world, from the depths of our soul. The young man pondered, trying to grasp the depth of the old man's words. To find happiness, the sage concluded, you must strengthen your inner roots: wisdom, kindness, humility, and gratitude. Then, like the tree, you will stand firm, regardless of what happens around you, and bloom at any time of the year. The young man understood that happiness was not something external that could be found or lost. It was a state of the soul that grows from within and is strengthened through personal development and self-knowledge. The old man noticed that his words had stirred echoes of reflection and doubt in the heart of his young listener. He decided to continue, to reinforce the nascent understanding. Imagine you stand before many paths. Each promises you happiness. One leads to wealth, another to fame, another to love, and so on. And many of us choose one of these paths, thinking it will lead us to happiness. But in reality, happiness is not found on any of these paths. It lies within you, in your inner world, in your attitude towards life, and in your actions. The sage looked at the young man, his gaze filled with compassion and a deep understanding of human nature. Happiness is not a destination, it is a journey. It is not a place you arrive at, but the way you travel. When you learn to find joy in simple things, when you are grateful for each day, when you do good, and when you find peace in your heart despite all difficulties, that is when you are truly happy. The young man delved into deep thought. He began to realize that all this time he had been searching for happiness in the external world, while the source of everything was within him. It's also important to remember that happiness is not a constant state. It is moments that we create and cherish. It is like a river that flows through time, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, but always in motion. Do not try to hold on to these moments like water through your fingers, but learn to enjoy each one, as a traveler enjoys the coolness of a stream on a hot day. The sage paused for a moment, allowing the young man to absorb what had been said, and then concluded, remember, happiness often comes when you least expect it. It comes when you do something not for yourself, but for others. When you help, when you share, when you love. The young man stood up, his heart full of gratitude. Thank you for sharing this wisdom with me, he said. Now I see that happiness is the path I choose every day, and it is a path that begins in my heart. With these words, the young man left the old man's garden, but his steps were light and his gaze was filled with a new light. He understood that happiness is a journey, not a destination, and that each of us can be happy here and now if we only learn to see and appreciate the beauty and kindness that surround us. Until we meet again.